Hi guys, lots to talk about today in the world of 90 Day Fiancé. So much so that I had to break all the information up into two videos. So video number one, which is this video, we're going to talk about Andrei admitting he was forced out of Moldova. Then we're going to talk about Angela and Michael getting a spinoff. Then we're going to talk about how I think Paul is on the edge, people, okay, edge. Then in video number two, we're going to talk about Brittany and Yazin and how they scammed TLC to get on the show and how her ex-husband was also included in the scam. But let's start with video number one. Okay, so on the upcoming episode this week, this Sunday, we're going to watch an episode in which, yes, he's going to admit, Andrei, that he was a cop back in Moldova. Not only was he a cop, he was a crooked cop, and that he was forced out of Moldova. Now, listen, his side of the story is sketchy at best. It leaves out a lot of details, which leads me to what makes the better story. I hate to say this, people. I hate to say it, okay? Which would be Perry's story, which he put out. He gave me the information. We put out a video probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago about Andrei getting kicked out of Moldova because of embezzling. Now, in Andrei's version, he's not going to say why he was kicked out. This is what he's going to say. He's going to say that the police are corrupt in Moldova. They make you do shady things. If you tell them no, you could be in danger. So he decided to tell them that he wanted to stop doing what he was doing, and that's why he left town. He also said that he worked 80 hours a week and only got a paycheck of $250. This is really leading up, for me, it's really leading up to the fact that Perry might be right. Why is he telling us that the police force is very, very corrupt, that they made him do corrupt things? First of all, who can make you do anything? I mean, if it got so bad, that why didn't you quit before you started stealing? According to Perry, he got in trouble for stealing, people. This also makes me believe Perry's story is when he said he only worked 80 hours. He worked 80 hours a week and only got $250. You see what I mean? Why is he telling us that? Does that mean because you feel like you got such little pay that you had to go steal? Oh my gosh, I hate to say this, guys, but maybe Perry was right. Remember, we did a block party and everyone was questioning Perry's theory. People said his document was fake, the story didn't make sense. Oh, Perry, get a grip. Like, we don't see Andrei being an embezzler. And don't forget, people, embezzlement is a fancy word for stealing. What kind of things do you steal? I'm thinking over there in Moldova, Andrei was a corrupt cop the way that the corrupt cops are here in the U.S., which means that if they do drug busts, they probably take the drugs, they probably steal the drug people's money. I mean, there's all kind of ways to be corrupt, and especially when it involves money. But according to Andrei, he did it for a little while, he didn't want to do it anymore, and then he just skipped town. According to Perry, he did it until he got caught, and then had to go to court for it, and when he couldn't prove that he was innocent, then he skipped town. I don't know which story to believe here, but I'm leaning towards Perry, and not because I work with him, just because that story makes more sense, people. Okay, so now that's what's going to happen on the upcoming episode, okay? And then I recommend you guys go back and look at the video that I made about Andrei labeled embezzlement. I mean, he wasn't in on the crime by himself. He says he has a partner. Well, he says here when he goes on television that someone made him do it. I'm going to assume that that was the partner. At the end of the day, I think that this family is corrupt, and I don't believe a word they say. Now, their story rolls into the next story. Okay, the rumors are that Angela and Michael are going to get a spinoff. TLC announced that they will be giving 2 more spinoffs, and it looks like Angela and Michael made the cut. Now listen, guys, we had another block party which we talked about Angela and Michael for an hour and a half. That's how bad that's how many people wanted to give their opinions on the situation. You guys were saying Angela was rude and disrespectful to all Nigerians. You guys didn't like the way she treated Michael, and that he was, I don't know how to say it, a wimp for not standing up to her. I was the only one, people. The only one. And yes, I'm not the type of person to not say, I told you so. I'm telling you right now, I told you so. I was the only one saying, Angela's putting on for the cameras. These two love each other. There's no way she would act like that in real life. She's putting on for the cameras. She is not a real life Lisa. Remember, everyone got mad at Lisa, all the Nigerians. I don't think she's a real life Lisa. She was putting on for this spinoff. She knows how to play to the cameras. At the end of the day, these two are in love, and they're really a good couple, if you ask me. That's my opinion. We'll talk about it in the comment section. And then we got to go, and so how does this relate to Andrei and Elizabeth? Well, the rumors are they're trying to get a spinoff too, people. Now, I had mentioned it in my previous video about them doing any and everything to stay on the show. They weren't even supposed to be on the show. Remember, it was Jay and Ashley that were supposed to be on the show. They made the cut by the skin of their nose. So they are really beefing up things. But this is a true example of how imitation copies life, life copies imitation, and how fake stories roll into real stories. This is how TLC gets away with having a #1 hit show with all the lying that they do. This is what they do. They put out fake storylines, okay? Not just TLC, all of reality TV people, they put out fake storylines. It's your reactions to the fake storylines that makes the storylines true. I hope that makes sense. I mean, it sounds really crazy. I'll give you an example. Let's just say something's going on with my Siri, and it's supposed to be turned off. I did it again, guys. Forgot to turn off my phone. I'll give you an example. Let's just say we're gonna pretend like Chuck doesn't like Andrei so we can get on the show. You know, we're gonna pretend like we're gonna have a fist fight and whatnot. So we're really gonna beef it up. Okay, so let's go ahead, we'll shoot the fight scene. And let's just say the friend is sitting there and he says something that sparks Chuck's interest. Like, you know, remember when you had to skip town, Andrei? So then they find out, well, that information's true. You did skip town. And not only did you skip town, you're an embezzler. Then it turns into a real storyline. This happens to all of reality TV. The storylines start out fake. It's the reactions that turn into being true. And then the next thing you know, you're looking at a true storyline. This is what I'm thinking that's going on with Andrei, people. I'll give you another example. They found him making racist comments in his past. It was 2014. Well, you know, if I'm her sister and my husband is black and you're making racial black jokes, then I really don't like you. Do you guys see how it works? That's how television works. Now, the question is, whose storyline do we want to see most? Do we want to see Michael and Angela? That's my bet, okay? And her really acting ridiculous, really going off and making a fool of herself in Nigeria. But that's not how she really is. This couple really loves each other, but they have real problems. And the real problem is Michael's never coming to the U.S. for a long, long time. And she needs him here because she needs a shoulder to lean on. She is doing everything. She's the head of her family, and it gets stressful. Do we want to watch that? Or do we want to watch the crooks who in real life, Chuck is being accused of being a landlord scammer and Andrei is allegedly accused of embezzlement, so much so that he had to leave his country. I don't know. I'm saying there's 2 spots left. Okay, this rolls into my third story, Paul. Paul and Karine. Okay, so Paul is back on the internet, people, and he's trying to explain himself. He's saying the reason that he's in Brazil is nothing bad. He's just there to clean their apartment there. I don't make this up, people. I do not make this stuff up. They're saying because he's saying because he's been so stressed that cleaning soothes him. It gives him a positive, constructive thing to do. So much so that he had to clean their place in here in the U.S. and now he's in Brazil cleaning the place there. But don't be worried, he says, that Karine's not in Brazil. She's still in the U.S. and this is all constructive thing. I'm not there being a stalker or being a creeper or trying to look for Karine. I'm there because I have to clean up the apartment. Okay, he also says that he hasn't seen his son since July. And not only that, his mother's having a nervous breakdown because she hasn't seen Pierre. In other words, people, to sum it all up, this is still a shit show, okay? Paul has got a lot of crazy things going on. Now, people are saying maybe Paul deserves a spinoff. Paul does not deserve a spinoff. This is my opinion, people. Because number one, he's not going to be married to Karine for much longer. And so we don't want to see him picking up a new foreigner just for ratings and then running her off too. Paul needs to be in counseling, in my opinion. So of all the three, Angela and Michael, Andrei and Elizabeth, Paul and Karine, which storylines would I want to see be a spinoff? Number one, Angela and Michael. Number two, Andrei and Elizabeth. I am not voting for Paul and Karine. But as I say in every video, we all have our different opinions and that just happens to be mine. So we got a lot to talk about, guys, in the comment section. Do you guys think now that Perry's theory that Andrei stole money from the cops, got in trouble for embezzlement, is true? Do you guys think that's true? Did he steal money? And number two, which spinoff would you guys want to see? Michael and Angela, Andrei and Elizabeth, or Paul and Karine? Let me know. And also, I want to mention in my comment section, no fighting, you guys. I just don't like the fighting between each other because people have different opinions. And also, no racist comments. You guys watch my videos. You know I hate racism. I'm a stickler for it. There's no need to bring race into anything. When I was talking about Andrei got his social media scrubbed and they found that he made a racist comment, I'm talking about what happened, what they found on his social media. I didn't mean for you guys to start throwing racial slurs at each other. Come on, guys, we're all adults. Let's just have a civilized conversation. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. It does wonders for my video. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. I'll meet you guys in the comment section after I make a second video about Brittany and Yazan. That's how you say his name. You don't want to miss that video. Until next time, bye for now.